Hey, just thought I'd do a little video update. Um, Today's Wednesday. Um, I've had some interviews, some virtual interviews since my last update. I never heard back from the one that I did the in-person interview for, um, so that's kind of a bummer, but that's okay. Um, but I had a call with a staffing manager yesterday, and it went really well. And she even emailed me again today, letting me know that the hiring team is taking a look at all of my information and resume and everything that her and I discussed, and that they're going to follow up with me soon, hopefully to schedule like an interview or something. And then I have two more virtual interviews on Friday, like back to back almost. They're like an hour long each. One of them is a panel interview with like 7 people in it or something. Um, so that's good, I think. Um, and then I was out running errands all morning. It's about 12:15 right now, just after noon. But I was doing a bunch of stuff all morning, running errands and stuff. Um, and I got a call from um, a person who for a job that I had applied to recently. And to be honest, I'm applying to so many jobs that like I don't remember any of them off the top of my head. You know, it's just like I know that if I applied to them, I read through the requirements and it looked like a good fit. I've been making custom cover letters for every single job app, and I'm rarely doing like the easy apply ones. Mostly it's the ones that require like the full effort where you create an account on their website and you have to like try to import your resume, but it never works, and so you have to manually fix it all. And each application takes like probably like 20 to 30 minutes. But I've been doing that just like a full-time job. Um, I've probably applied to over 100 jobs just in the past week and a half, all with like a lot of effort. So it's nice to be getting some movement there. The person that called me today, um, it's actually very promising. As I was driving, I told him that I was like, I'm sorry if I'm a little distracted because I'm driving right now, and he said no problem. But I still kind of crushed it, to be honest. Um, and he decided to. So it's a small team. I'm not going to get into all the details because you never know what's going to happen. But it is a smaller team, which is I have a lot of experience with. When I first came out to Arizona, I joined a tech startup, my first startup here, and I was the second technical employee of the company. It was a remote support company. Everyone else that was working for the company was like sales and marketing and that kind of stuff. And I stayed there for like 2.5 years, and I grew that team to over 50 people, like personally. I was involved, so I was doing all the remote support and everything, but I was also documenting everything, creating like the standard operating procedures and all the internal documentation, training all of our people to do the remote support. It was a startup, so it was a lot. I was wearing a lot of hats, but I ended up taking on like a managerial role toward the end. Um, and anyway, it's kind of like this latest job is kind of like that one. It's a smaller managed service provider here in Phoenix. It's like a team of less than 20. They're looking to do double that within a year, and they need help doing that. And they like that I've done stuff like that. It's also mostly remote, which is like amazing because I've been working remotely for like 8 years now, other than obviously being unemployed for the last year. But I was really hoping to get a remote job, so it would be great if it worked out. There's going to be a little travel. Occasionally, there will be some sites in the Phoenix area that need someone on site to go and install something or set something up. And I said, that's no problem. I actually like doing that as long as it's not like an everyday thing. Excuse me. So, anyway, it went really well. By the time we ended the call, he had decided that he wants me to start working on Monday, which is like a few days from now. Today's Wednesday, so but it's a full day, but it's a working assessment interview, if that makes sense. So it's going to be here where I'm staying. And by the way, I'm recording in the Airbnb where I'm renting a room in. I'm going to be here until at least the end of May, maybe even the end of June. And this little, I think this is like the Disney castle. It's really cute. It's just like a quilt or something. And then above it, the guy who owns this apartment, his name's Wade. He's really nice. His niece stayed here at some point in the past, and she like redecorated and painted the room and stuff, and she put like a stencil on the wall above this that says "Adventure is out there," like from the movie Up, which I thought was really cool. But anyway, on Monday I'll be working a full day. Excuse me. Oh my gosh. Like 8 to 5. It will be remotely. And it's really kind of like there's going to be a very brief onboarding for the first half hour where they're just going to like give me my credentials, explain to me some of the tools they use, make sure all my logins work. And then I'm just going to hit the ground running. There's really not going to be any kind of training or anything. They just want to see how I can do with all of it. And to be honest, I'm kind of excited because every job I've had since I moved to Arizona has been like that. So like the first job here, the first tech startup, there was obviously no like training. It was just figuring it all out, as I went. And then I joined 2 other tech startups after that, and those were both like I was the 4th employee of the second company, and I was like the 20th employee of the third company. And so the third one was a little bit established, but the second one, I was the help desk manager. I was the only technical employee for that company, and I ended up building out the whole team, and we outsourced most of the stuff, but I built the actual services that we sold. It was like smart home device monitoring and automation and stuff like that. And we ended up getting acquired, and I'm a big reason for that because it was a technical company and I was the technical employee. So anyway, so I seem to thrive in those kind of situations where I'm just thrown into something and I need to learn it and show what I've got. Even at my last company, Varian, the one that I was with for 5 years, it was remote support. I was working on medical oncology software, so like radiation, chemotherapy, MRI machines, electronic prescriptions. I was doing technical support for those systems, and I was working directly with medical professionals all over the country and in Canada and the UK as well, like nurses and doctors and oncologists and people like that calling in saying they have an issue, and so I'd have to, figure out the problem and stuff. But even that one, because I started with that company in March of 2020. They usually fly people out, They usually fly people out to one of their locations to do like a week of in-person training, right? But because it was like the start of COVID and stuff, they didn't do that. And so I never got trained on that with anything for that company. I just kind of slipped through the cracks. And to be honest, I ended up thriving in that job. I ended up taking on a level 2 support position. And I became kind of the escalation point for a lot of things. And I was the only one on the team who didn't have any official training. So I think that kind of says something, I need to remind myself of that I am capable of this stuff. So anyway, that's what's happening on Monday. I'm pretty excited for that. A little nervous, but more excited. And they're paying me for the full day, regardless of how it goes. But he's like, if it goes well, and like you're happy and we're happy, then you can just start working just come back into work the next day. And well, I'll be working remotely, but he's like, that can just be your official start date. It's nice and simple and easy. And I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. I mentioned my ideal salary range, which is, it's lower than the last job I was at. Over the last year, I've come to accept that I'll probably never make that kind of money again, because I was making a stupid amount of money at my last job, and especially for the workload. Excuse me. But I did target a somewhat, I don't know, aggressive salary range, a little more than what is paid for most tech support jobs here in Phoenix. And he said that's not a problem. So that makes me feel good too, because I could actually have a chance to, like, actually start rebuilding my life, if this goes well. Pay off my debt and save some money, and I would love to just keep renting here where I am. It's nice and easy. I've talked about it before, but it's through Airbnb and stuff. And if it did become like, potentially a long-term thing, 6 months or a year or something, then I could maybe even have a conversation with the guy who owns this place. His name's Wade, and just see if it's something that he would, if he has a preference on just continuing to go through Airbnb, or if he wants to put something in writing or do cash or, whatever. Obviously, I'll do what I can to protect myself and make sure I don't get screwed over. But he's a super, like, easygoing, like, he's very friendly, and yeah, I don't have any bad feelings about him or anything like that. And my instincts are pretty good when it comes to people. So anyway, so that's where I'm at with everything. It's pretty, exciting and stuff. Trying not to put too much hope into it, because I've said before, hoping really scares me, and sometimes it jinxes things. So we'll see. But I still have those 2 interviews on Friday. Those are for good jobs as well. One of those is mostly remote. The other one I think is on site, but that's fine too, if that's the route that I end up going, or I have to go into an office every day. Ideally, I would prefer not to, but just especially because of, like, commuting and gas and all that stuff. But yeah, I'm just gonna see what happens. So outside of the work stuff, it's already 12 minutes. Well, it's going to be a little longer than usual. Outside of all the work stuff, everything else is going, as well as it can. I'm pretty much settled here in this, like, master bedroom, bathroom that I have. It's pretty comfortable, and I did have to do a kind of a deep clean because it wasn't super clean. Sorry, I did a sinus flush before this because of my allergies, and now my nose is all itchy. It wasn't super clean, and when I asked to borrow Wade's vacuum, but it, like, doesn't work at all. So I ended up picking up a cheap vacuum at Walmart, and I'm just using it for like a month or two. There's like a 90-day return period or something, or 30 days, so I can always just return it, if I need to. But it was kind of gross how much it picked up. But I'm glad that the room is, like, cleaner and stuff, and and I changed the sheets to my own sheets, and put my own blanket on there, and I have my little fridge, my camping fridge. It's decent size, and a little pantry area and a little closet area. I have my own master bathroom with, like, the shower and the toilet and the sink and all that stuff. There's laundry in the unit here, so I can do laundry. There's a bed, the queen bed, and there's a little TV that's mounted on the wall. I actually put the TV up when I came here because the TV that was up was broken, and he was like, "Oh, I can get another one, but I don't know how to put it up and change it on the mount." And I was like, "Oh, I can do that." Like, I did that professionally for a while. So, and then I even have a little desk area. I grabbed one of my folding tables that I had in my campsite in my tent. I set that up over in the corner with my laptop, and there's a chair, and yeah, so I have a little working area, which is perfect. And I have a window, which I've had open lately because it's so nice out. So it's good. I'm, like, really grateful to be here. And there's been some adjustments, like before I lost my house, the house that I had for 5 years. I had kind of always told myself, like, I don't ever want to share walls with people again. Like, I definitely don't want to live, like, above or below people. And obviously that didn't happen, or that did happen. There's, like, a family that lives above us, and they're pretty loud. The way that they all kind of, I know that they're probably just walking, but they seem to like walk with a lot of weight in their heels or something. So to keep myself sane, I joke, and whenever I hear it sometimes, and it's like I'm just like fee fi fo fum, like I need to laugh about it or something. Um, But anyway, yeah, outside of all the work stuff and the housing situation, which again, I said I'm here probably until at least the end of June with my current financial situation. And if I start working, then I can even stay longer and stuff. Um, and I've been still doing, I've been active in the online support group that I'm in. That's been real good. We meet on Friday nights and Sunday nights. I joined both times, and I ended up staying on the call for like 8 hours both nights. By the end of it, there's usually only like 2 or 3 people on, but I'm really connecting with one person in particular who's up in Canada. We've had very similar experiences with just different things in our lives that have led us to where we are now and stuff. She has good insight, and yeah, so but I'm also getting along with with basically everyone in that server that's active and stuff. But it's nice. I'm able to offer support to other people when they need it, and they're able to offer support to me when I need it. So I'm grateful to be a part of that community. Yeah, I guess that's kind of where everything is at right now. Next Tuesday night is the monthly open mic poetry event. I went to the first one last month, and I think I might go. I even have a little outfit picked out, and I wrote something recently that I posted in my Discord. I'm not going to get into talking about the details of it, but it's something that is very personal to me and on my mind a lot. And it's kind of about accepting what is and what will never be. And adjusting to live with that. So yeah, that's kind of, I guess that's kind of everything I've got to share for now. So, yeah. So if you're watching this, thank you for taking the time. 18 minutes, oh gosh, that's long. It's okay if you didn't watch all of this or pay attention. But yeah, I appreciate all of you, friends and family and acquaintances, loved ones. Thank you for caring about me and being in my life in whatever capacity that is. Thank you for supporting me, however you are and however you do. I love you all. And I like to end these with some kind of message to the future me who might be watching this. Maybe from a good place, maybe from a bad place, who knows. But we're still going. Some days are harder than others, but we're still making it through. And putting ourselves out there and just seeing what comes up. And, the interviews and the job on Monday and thing, and, we're just going to see where it takes us. So, yeah. Okay, I guess that's all. Love you.